Hey guys, this is Jesse Klein and this is my brother Justin Klein with the Klein Real Estate team. And we're here today to talk to you a little bit about Grandview real estate. So as you've probably seen in the news, real estate's not too hot right now. We've transitioned from the most insane seller's market we've ever seen. Our dad's been in the business for 31 years and he'd never seen anything like last year. It was absolutely nuts. Prices going 300,000 over ask, 15, 20 offers on a property, to in just a matter of 5 months from this February when it peaked to now where prices are down $200,000 for townhouses in Grandview. And it's pretty tough to sell your townhouse unless buyers go out there, look at 10 townhouses and yours is the absolute best one on the market, meticulous, lowest price by $25,000, $30,000, then maybe you'll get an offer. Maybe, not even guaranteed. So we're gonna throw a listing up on the screen here. You'll see this townhouse that sold for $1.2 million in February at the peak, and a very similar unit, slightly smaller, just sold for just under $900,000. So that's a $300,000 difference. And when these townhouses pre-sold, the bigger one actually pre-sold for 5% more. So, you can call it about a $50,000 difference for the square feet. So it's about $250,000 less. And here's a graph showing townhouse prices in Grandview. And as you can see, it matches up with this anecdotal sale. Prices are down around that $200,000 mark. And so why did this happen? I mean, it seemed like last year everybody in Canada loved real estate. It was all over the news. Everybody wanted to own a home, and now you can't even pay somebody to touch a home. It's insane. So what we've seen is interest rates went from a low of 1.6% last year for a 5-year fixed mortgage, the lowest we've ever seen by a long shot, 1.6%, all the way up to 5.2% now. And so what that did is actually, for the same price, let's say you wanted to buy a townhouse in Grandview for $900,000 last year, at 1.6%, your payment would have been, or now at 5.2%, your payment is 50% higher than it was last year. Now, obviously, we don't have a ton of, even though people talk a lot about foreign buyers in Vancouver, that was definitely a thing back in 2016. There was a lot of that going on. They were buying these, massive mansions for $7 million, and a lot of condos in downtown Vancouver as well for, $2 million for a 2-bed, crazy stuff like that. And a lot of those foreign buyers actually lost money, but that's a story for another day. So we've got lots of local families wanting to buy 3-bedroom townhouses in a nice neighborhood like Grandview, South Surrey. We're 45 minutes away from Vancouver without any traffic. It's not like this is a super desirable location and that we're super close to downtown or anything. I mean, we've got the beach, but we don't even have any mountains. So, you take a family, maybe you have a nurse and a teacher and their combined household income is, let's say $140,000 a year, which is a great household income. It's actually above the average for the area, which is closer to around 110. And, 2 professionals, and they can't afford, a mortgage payment in 6 months going from, say $3,000 a month and then increasing 50% and going all the way up to, $4,500 or almost $5,000. People were already stretched before last year when prices were going $300,000 over asking. I mean, that was a lot for buyers to stomach. And then now payments are up another 50%. So you can see now why buyers have completely pulled back. First-time buyers are almost entirely out of the market, we're seeing. They're running the numbers, and it's just, there's a sentiment thing where they're like, I don't really want to buy in a declining market, but it's also just very simply, they're going, hey, I can't buy this 1-bedroom condo and pay $3,000 a month for a 1-bed in South Surrey. It's just not working for people. So that's happened. And so what we're seeing is prices are starting to correct downwards to compensate for this 50% increase in mortgage payments because of these high interest rates. And you're going to see a lot over the next couple of months about interest rates continuing to go up. And kind of what the markets are pricing in is probably another 0.5% to 1% increase before the end of the year. Last month, they shocked us with a full 1% increase. We weren't expecting that. We thought it was going to be about 0.75. But we're going to see probably another 0.5 to 1% by the end of the year. That's not going to affect fixed rates. Fixed rates are forward looking, so they've already priced that in. So 5.2% fixed is probably here to stay, possibly even going to go down a little bit. We'll see. It hasn't happened yet, but bond yields are going down, so usually, the mortgages should follow that. but variable is going to go up. So variable right now is 4.2%, about, if you go with a major bank like TD or Scotiabank or RBC. And those rates are moved with the Bank of Canada policy. So that will probably go up another 0.5%, maybe next month, maybe another 0.5 after that. We'll see. So those variable rates are likely going to end up around 5% before the end of the year, which again is, you know, we've got buyers right now that look at a property and they go, hey, maybe I can, you know, get it on a variable rate. It's 1% cheaper, 4.2 instead of 5.2. It helps a little bit. That's probably going to be gone by the end of the year. So we only really see prices going down from here for the rest of the year. Sales volumes are probably going to continue to decline. We're probably going to see a bit of a spike in September. Every year that happens. It's just a seasonality thing. Families are moving, people are getting back from holidays in the summer. They start thinking real estate again, or people are maybe coming for a new job or a school. It's just a natural season thing where people like to make a move in September. So we'll probably see a little bump there, and then every winter the real estate market slows down. And this year is going to be pretty slow, we think, extremely slow. And so if you're thinking about buying a property, this winter is definitely a great time to look at it. If you're a first-time home buyer, I'd definitely be holding out until then. I think there's probably going to be better deals then than there are right now. If you're if you already own property and you want to sell and then buy, for example, maybe you own a townhouse in Grandview and you're thinking about getting a detached house, there's already fantastic opportunities for that right now. We're seeing houses in some parts of Langley selling for $500,000 less than they were worth 5 months ago. Brookswood, for example, houses were 1.7 million and now they're like 1.2. We even saw a nice house, 10,000 square foot lot, almost a quarter acre, with a 2,000 square foot house, very livable. You know, it's not renovated, but it was livable and decent condition. Definitely could use a bit of paint and stuff like that. But that sold for 1.15 a couple weeks ago in Brookswood. Amazing. I mean, if you own a nicer townhouse in Grandview, I just saw one sell today for 1.17. So you have, and that was only 1,700 square foot townhouse in Grandview. Now, that was a pretty high sale, but you know, most 3 beds are sitting more around that $900,000 range. If you're smaller, 1,300 square foot, you're probably more in the low 800s. But even then, you could go buy a house in Brookswood for 1.2 with a suite. That suite, if it's a 2-bed, is gonna pay you about $1,800 a month in rental income. Mortgage amounts, for every $100,000 in extra mortgage you take on, that's about $600 a month in mortgage payments. So if you take on an additional $300,000 in mortgage, you sell your townhouse for $900, you buy a house with a suite in Brookswood only 8 minutes away for 1.2, that's a $300,000 increase. But it has a suite in it, so that gives you an additional $600 a month, $1,800. It's an additional $1,800 a month for the mortgage, and you're also getting $1,800 a month in rent, and it's a wash. Now, your ownership expenses do go up a little bit. Older houses, 1980s, 1970s houses do have more maintenance, and you know, you've got to save up for roofs, which can be $15,000, $20,000. You know, you've got to do the same in a strata too. Once a townhouse complex hits 20 years old, which some in Grandview are, you know, they're not quite there yet, but we've got some 2009 complexes, so they're 6-7 years away. The roof's got to be replaced as well, and obviously a townhouse has a smaller surface area than a house does, so maybe it's only 10 grand instead of 20, but strata has maintenance costs as well, but most of these townhouses are quite a bit newer, so obviously a house is going to cost more to maintain. But you also have no strata fee, so you can sink that away every month into a little maintenance fund, and that'll help quite a bit. So great opportunities out there right now. Sales to actives ratio, which is the percent of sales every month as a percent of the listings. We're sitting at about 20% for townhouses in Grandview right now, which means, you know, there is actually about 100 listings on the market in Grandview, 100 townhouses on the market, and we're looking at, you know, around 20 sales. I can't remember what the exact numbers are, but it's around that. So that's, you know, it's still considered a balanced market, but it's not a balanced market. It's a complete buyer's market. The psychology has changed, and everybody knows the market's going down, and buyers have massive negotiating power right now. So it is a buyer's market, even though statistically it's not quite there yet. If you go to some detached areas like Brookswood, it's actually a severe buyer's market by every measure. So that's 6 out of 100 homes every month are selling in Brookswood, which is brutal. Langley itself, broad-based, I think is more around 12 or 13% for detached. And then townhouse, like I said, higher, you know, it's still around those 20% mark. And condos even higher, I think it's about 30% of all condos are selling every month. Condos are down about $75,000 in Grandview. So, you know, 2 beds kind of in Morgan Crossing, like a 2-bed, you know, 860 square feet, that kind of peaked around 775,000. Now there's quite a few on the market, kind of in the low 600, sorry. And to sell, you'd probably, you know, if you got like an 800, something below 900 square feet, 2-bed, you'd probably have to list it at $599 now to sell it for a 2-bed condo. 1 bed's kind of peaked around $575. We haven't seen a sale for those in a while in South Surrey, so we're just kind of waiting to see where the price discovery, where the next deal happens at. But I'm thinking it's probably going to be around that $499 mark, so down about $75,000 as well. Like I said, you still gotta make $120,000 a year to afford about a 1-bed condo right now, which is just kind of nuts. So something's got to give there. And until interest rates come back down, if they do come down, that's going to be prices giving. So that's the compensation there. So Justin, why don't you tell us a little bit about new construction in Grandview, some of the new projects coming up, and
Yeah, I'll first just take us through a couple listings that we picked out here just so you can see what's active on the market. This 2-bed, 2-bath, 835 square feet. It's on for $590 right now. And then another 2-bed, 2-bath, could use some updating, but 961 square feet on for $599. We'd expect that they could go up close to this price. And then for townhomes,
what were these selling at, Justin? These 599s, what were those selling at before COVID happened, before the big run up?
Yeah, those were going for $450,000 pre-COVID. You know, they jumped up to, I think there was some for $665, $675 here at the peak in February. And then for townhomes, we're seeing a 2-bed, 2-bath here, 1,400 square feet. Could use some updating as well, but at $739, that's a fair price for that. And then a brand new 4-bed going for $998, and that's 1,500 square feet.
And that unit probably would have been 125 at the peak even. Those 2-bed townhouses, probably more like, you know, I would say maybe like a 950 at the peak's down about 200,000 as well. But I think they've even been on the market actually, that 739 for a couple weeks now. So
yeah,
it's not like they're doing the low list strategy like they did
last
year.
No.
They're sitting there and they're trying to get an offer, and they're waiting for one of you guys to reach out to us and we can order the offer.
Yeah, so I'll post a link to this below and you can take a look at these listings. You can just jump on our website there. And I'll also give you the link so you can see the sold prices in your neighborhoods. If you see your neighbors put up a sign and the sold sticker goes on there, feel free to jump on our website and you're able to actually see what that sold for. New coming developments here. We have 4 new construction sites that you're going to be seeing going this year with some pre-sales. We've got the Loop on 24th there and 165th. There's 194 new townhomes entering the market there. And then the Burrows down on 20th and Oak Meadows, 127 new units going in there. And then 2 smaller developments on 20th and 165th, a 42 and 50 unit development. So as we see the market decline here, you're going to see great opportunities possibly with these developers to get a new build pre-sale at market price of something a little bit older, which is great because you can customize those and, you know, put a deposit down now, but not have to pay for it until a couple of years later there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Typically during hotter markets, or even balanced markets, developers are charging a pretty big premium to buy pre-sale. You know, you've always got 5% GST on top of the price they're advertising, which goes to the government. And then typically a developer maybe want like a 5% premium over a similar unit that has been lived in for a year. Just because you get to, you know, you get the privilege of looking at the floor plans, choosing exactly which floor plan, location you want, as well as making some upgrades and just that kind of new car feel of you know, it being yours and you being the only person that's ever lived there. So yeah, but once the market, so, you know, maybe in a balanced market, you're paying 10% over a resale price. You know, $1 million townhouse, it's a year old that somebody lived in. Maybe the pre-sale is going to be $1,050,000 plus 5% GST. It's like a, you know, one about. As the market starts declining, if some of these projects have a tougher time selling, it can be a great opportunity to get a townhouse for pretty similar pricing to a used one, but brand new. So yeah, that's something to explore definitely if you're interested in that. And you can write a contract on a pre-sale, put down a deposit, which is usually 10 to 20%. And again, in slower markets, they'll reduce those deposit amounts to make it easier. Hotter markets, the deposit amounts usually go up. and you put out that deposit. Townhouse projects, usually you're only, pre-selling maybe 9 months out, even 6 months out. Sometimes they only start selling when they're built just because they put them up a lot faster. Condos like the one on 24th Ave that just pre-sold earlier this year, those usually building 2 years out. And that was pre-selling in 2021 for completion in 2024. And often they get delayed even another year. So,
yeah. Last thing, Facebook group. I started a Grandview Morgan Crossing Facebook group not so long ago, just to stay connected with the neighbors. I saw someone in there created a weekly or daily even coffee and walk group so people can go out, meet each other in the community, stay connected and ask questions, and we're happy to answer those, and everyone's chipping in there.
Yeah, if you guys got any questions about real estate or the community, reach out to us. We're happy to help you. And if you want a free home evaluation, or if you want to get signed up to see new listings or sold prices, happy to set you up for that. Or if you see a property you want to view in person, we're your guys.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.